Yo, what's going on? We are back. What is going on? Our Sixers draft coverage continues with Nikola Jovic, a 19-year-old stretch big, I think out of Serbia, 6'10", 7-foot wingspan man. Really intriguing offensive prospect. Most likely will be there for the Philadelphia 76ers at pick 23, assuming they keep the pick. We don't know that at this time. Joining me, as always, my man Tiago at Tiago PHL. What's going on, Tiago?
What's going on, Chris? If you can't beat Nikola Jovic in the MVP race, you bring in his third cousin or something. No, I'm just joking. I don't think they're related. I don't know. I didn't know it. But when I first saw the name, I'm like, this can't be real. It's Nikola.
Yeah, so today we're breaking down his pros, we're breaking down his cons, and grading the fit out of 10 with the Philadelphia 76ers. Lead us off, Tiago. What do you like about Nikola Jovic's game?
I mean, first of all, everything looks wonderful when you watch these games in Europe, right? I mean, the guy's blowing by, the guy doing my taxes. This guy's amazing. The guy is tremendously polished, man. Like, that's just the way offensively we talk about what the NBA game is offensively, is the ability to make shots on the ball when it comes to playoff. We see that a lot with Steph these days, with Jason Tatum. This guy does it at a very high level in the league that he's playing in. But he's also able to toggle between on-ball shot making and off-ball shot making. So he's got a great touch. I mean, you see it on the video, soft. He's got range. And he also averaged 1.33 points per catch and shoot possession in a very high volume.
Nice.
So it's that polish that we talk about, not only being able to do things on the ball, but be able to move off the ball and be comfortable shooting off the ball. This guy does both at a very high level in the league that he's playing in. And, I mean, we talk about, like, the fit with the Sixers, right? I mean, we'll talk about that later on. But, like, this is what you're looking for with the roster. You want guys who can play both on and off the ball, but primarily be comfortable when the ball swings their way, that he can hit their shot. And this guy has polished game, man. I mean, as most of these European guys do have, just come out very polished footwork, very polished field passing. So, yeah, there's offensively an interesting package with him, but there are concerns around, the athleticism and everything else that comes with playing in Europe.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, but you pretty much nailed it, man. Offensively wise, his polish is really intriguing. His playmaking ability is really intriguing. This is a point guard in a small forward's body. He's efficient and smart when he's driving to the basket or when he's finishing around the rim. You can see it, man. He does a really good job of finding teammates when driving. He's very comfortable passing out of traps, finding cutters, handling the pick and roll. It's really impressive at a 19-year-old. To be able to kind of check off all these different boxes. He's strong at creating for others in transition. He's got really good vision, really good vision. He's got really good ball skills. So we already kind of touched on the pick and roll stuff, but that's kind of what you see is that's what's most impressive about Nikola Jovic is what his potential is in the pick and roll and what you think and how you think that translates to the next level. But let's go into cons because I've got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's a lottery pick if you factor in the fact that if he had athleticism, that would translate. And I'm not sure that's going to happen because when you watch him defensively, it's tricky in that league. So very upright, does not move well laterally at all. I mean, teams are going to put him through screens like he's never seen anything like that in his life before. And I just don't see him being able to defend that with the quickness that he's displayed so far in that league. He's also going to get bullied by stronger guys, man. I mean, if you're going to play that power forward position in NBA, you better come with it, man. And I just don't see that in his body, at least not right now. So defensively is where you really kind of see the athleticism take a massive back seat. And, yeah, that is concerning because we talked about, like, offensive, the polish is there to be a lottery pick and to be fit on many teams, but I don't know how you can survive with his defense, especially for a team like the Sixers, right? He has a couple guys who are really poor defenders, to say the least.
For me, you look at the turnovers, man. 2.7 turnovers per game. But that also makes you think like clearly Nikola Jovic is not going to be, on the ball as much in the NBA. So his usage rate will absolutely go down. NBA teams are not going to ask Jovic to create for others like he did for mega baskets. So, and then the defense, you kind of nailed it, man. The defense is kind of where I'm a little concerned about. That is definitely the biggest factor when you're kind of like trying to determine his floor and ceiling in the NBA. There's a guy who struggles to defend both forward spots, even at the European level. He clearly needs to gain more muscle. I mean, look at him. He's in order to play effectively at the 4 and be a small ball 5. Like he needs to get bigger. He needs to get stronger. He needs to play more physical. I think he's a long way from defending NBA wings on the perimeter at the pro level. So that lateral quickness, that lack of elite athleticism. And he's not a rim protector. So, what is he? That is kind of where I'm going. Oh, we have got Mr. Rudy Poo. That is hilarious, Mr. Rudy Poo. I got Furkan vibes. He's not Furkan. He's not, but I mean,
he's way more skilled than Furkan, man.
He's way more skilled, but he's definitely a liability in some respects, right, Tiago?
For sure. I mean, the guy you think about is a guy like Davis Bertans, right? Comes in, shoots the lights out of the ball, and then you have to get him off the court because teams start hunting him like crazy. I think Dallas figured out a way to kind of keep him on the court on some occasions, but you see that's where the limitation lies, right? I mean, unless he unlocks some more athleticism or some more defensive impact, he's going to have a hard time playing high leverage minutes in the NBA. So that right now, to me, is his ceiling. He's got to figure out a way to expand that some way, somehow. But again, playing with a guy like Joel Embiid, that could change things because Joel Embiid's a great rim protector. So,
Yeah. All right, let's go into fit with the Sixers and grade it out of 10. Lead us off, Tiago. You go first.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it like a 7.3 because I'm just too concerned about the defense. I'm just way too concerned about the defense. I just don't think it's going to translate. And for as much as appeal his offensive game has, I don't think this guy will ever be a, 15, 20, 25 minute per game player in the NBA. I just don't see it. So we'll see. But, if anything, just the polish offensively is worth taking a look at if, the guys on your board are gone and you still want to make that pick at 23. So I think that alone has enough appeal for him to warrant a pick at 23. But I have guys much higher graded than him.
Yeah, I'm going to go slightly lower. I'm going to go a 7. I'm going to go a 7 out of 10. Would I be upset at the pick at 23? Probably. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely not where I would go if I was Daryl Morey. No, I mean, yes, the Sixers need as many playmakers as possible. And this is a guy who could potentially do that at that position. I think he has intriguing upside. He's only 19, so that's something. He's very clearly going to be strictly a contributor off the bench early in his NBA career. And, to his credit, he's gotten better every single year, over the last several years. Mr. Rudy Poo says, man, if we draft this guy, the optics of getting a guy with a similar name to Jokic, Nuggets groupies will have a field day. That's 100% true. Well, that is zero question.
If they get this guy, I'm going to live on Twitter for all the misspellings we're going to see on Twitter. Like Nikola Jokic. I don't know. It's Jovic. It's going to be like the new trending topic on Twitter.
Who is the No, I'm thinking of, remember Nikola Skidisvili? Remember that guy? And you remember that guy?
Oh, Chris, and I don't remember that name.
No, dude, he was a top 5 pick. It was a top 5 pick. He was a top 5 pick. Back in the early 2000s. But that's obviously the first names are completely different. But for some, I don't know why, but difficult names came to mind. But anyway, for me, it's a 7 out of 10. I can't go higher than that. We've been doing this for a couple weeks now. Pretty much this is definitely the lowest score I've given out of all these prospects so far. And this is Thiago, the only one that would be like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
This is a 10 out of 10 fit. You know where?
Where?
front office and management can draft them and stash them and not have to pay him anything. So
Well, we just took Philippe Petrusev, who obviously they're
no,
totally different players. They're totally different, but
yeah.
like Petrusev's a roller. You know, he can thrive in a pick and roll. He can shoot a little bit. He didn't shoot a lot this past year, but obviously, you know, Jovic has way better ball handling. But for me, like, no, you do not. If you're Sixers and you're keeping the pick, you do not take a draft and stash, or I'm throwing this goddamn computer out the window. There's no. We need contributors.
I can't wait to
All right. Any final thoughts on Nikola Jovic before we wrap it up?
Not many. There's guys way ahead of him than I have on my list. I hope that those guys start available before the Sixers pick, because to your point, there's gonna be some eyebrows being raised if they draft this guy.
Yeah, that can't happen. But I mean, Tu's all right. You know, he's definitely skilled. He's a potential stretch big. You know, that modern skill set will always have a place in the NBA as of right now. So that is pretty much it for Nikola Jovic. Follow my man Tiago on Twitter at TiagoPHL. I am Dives, Mr. Crockpot. Check out all of our NBA draft content. We're getting close to 15 players scouted, highlight reels, scouting reports, you name it. It's all there on the channel. And expect a lot. Like, I'm trying to get at least 20 guys covered, and I'm going to break it down into different categories and grade them accordingly. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of content coming up until June 23rd. That pretty much wraps it up for Tiago, for myself, for Nikola Jovic. Stay awesome, everyone.